Alright, GMAN 5D, welcome to, I apologise, a very delayed week 1 recap. I know most of you have also played week 2, but I had a very busy weekend in real life. I actually had a Blood Bowl tournament, which went well. A few other things, I just couldn't get it done on Friday like I wanted, and then not on Saturday, not on Sunday. We're doing it now, on Monday. You roll over in just 2 days time, so when the rollover happens, I'll try to get another one out immediately so we get week 2 covered and we'll be on. I'm going to cover the scores of week 1 first and then have a look at the teams. I know some of the teams are going to be slightly inflated because they've played 2 games, but what can you do? And there goes the email notification. You think you turn everything off before you start recording, but I don't do 2 takes. So straight up, as we look at the week 1 schedule, and we had the Highgate Wardens take on Adel Okpobel, so that should be the Bretts. We're up against the High Elves. If I'm going to learn all your teams without being able to check my notes. And so Burner's High Elves took on Nicholas's Bretts, and that's 2-0 for the High Elves. I wouldn't say it's overly surprising in the early game. If the Elves just do a couple of passes and a couple of elf things, they have easier rolls to make than the Bretts. So Bretts could maybe try hit them a bit. They're a bit tougher, but they're also armor 8, the High Elves, so it's just not that easy to remove them. It was actually the exact matchup I had in 5C for my first game. My Bretts took on High Elves and I lost 2-1. And it's just because it's hard when the Elves can just disengage and pass and run it in on those really fast catchers. So, oh no, rough for Ale. I hope he got some SPP at least. Or the MVP didn't go on a peasant. If it did, sorry about that. But Brett should be able to pick it up. I don't think it's a disaster loss. Week 1, no losses are disaster losses, you know? So the second game, Freya's Guard, the Norse, took on Heinous Huggies, the Nurgle. And I mean, Frio is pretty brutal. Norse against Nurgle. I mean, is Huggies the Nurgle team that had the really low team value? I don't think so, no. Oh yes. Let's see. Oh well, he got his missed next games back. That's right. He played the game without all his warriors. Yeah. If you got to play with a lot of rotters and short on warriors, Sulfur didn't have much chance in that one. It does make sense that it would wind up Frio. The Brett positioners would be able to clear rotters like no tomorrow. The Nurgle warriors that were left would not have been able to catch up. I think definitely expected, and he should be able to pick it up now for week 2. He's going to have his warriors back. He can start earning some SPP. It's always rough to play Nurgle in the first season. It's double rough if you lose 2 of your warriors for the first game, but get it out of the way, get it done with. It could be a problem for the next person to play the Norse though, because I imagine there's a lot of SPP on there. We'll look at the team afterwards. And then up the Trufelheim Tacklers, it's the Sirs Undead, took on the Nimrats. Anyone wants to tell me what NIMH stands for? I'd love it. I'm just going to call them the Nimrats from now on. And 4-0. Normally if a Skaven game ends 4-0 it's in the Rats' favour, but Undead, I mean, I guess they really are the tacklers. Got a runner dodge, must have done nothing. I can only imagine there was a lot of bad luck involved in a 4-0. There usually is. I guess now one of those ones is just going to look really good for the Undead. They're just going to love it. Next team to play them. I mean, they already had some pretty nasty players. I remember when I played against them in the Greenhorn, they already had Mighty Blow. No, Mighty Blow. Mummy's an Undead starter, Mighty Blow. Too much Camry. They already had Block. Already had Tackle on some guys. It was rough. It's only going to get rougher. And given how good Undead are, and how good the Sur is, I think probably the only one that could give those Dark Elves the run for the money right now. Next up, yeah, the Barbecue Brawlers versus Sickless Swizzlesticks. Which, I mean, let's be honest, we always knew who was going to win because Banfok is shit at Blood Bowl. He's just really bad. The fact he got 1 touchdown was probably out of pity, you know? Like, I imagine that the Swizzlesticks sat there, Grumpelkins just went, you know what, I feel so bad for this guy. Just gave him a touchdown. No, of course, I'm winding Banfok up. Again, it's early Bretts against these Dark Elves. Dark Elves should win that match every time, in my opinion. And it's made worse by the fact that these Dark Elves were already so souped up from the Greenhorn. I said I think they'll win most, if not all, their games. Like, it's actually a potential threat for this division. And they've started off well. At least it was the consolation touchdown. I hope a blitzer got it. And then we had No Blitzing with Wolf versus Valakas Ass Kickers. I said that with a ridiculous accent. So, this is a necromantic team of 1-2-0. And Valakas, if I'm right, were the other Bretonian team. No, the Chaos team. Okay. So, Necro beating Chaos. I can see how it happened as well. Obviously, the Wolves and the Ghouls are a bit too fast for them to deal with. Claws is a nightmare for the Chaos Warrior armor. Flesh Golems can just stand in front of warriors and get in their way. Obviously, Chaos, really hard to start as well, just like Nurgle. You don't have key skills, you don't have naturally amazing players, you got to build on it. Necromantic, on the other hand, have naturally amazing players. They really do. I mean, a Wolf, given that they've probably already got blocked via the Greenhorn, absolutely beautiful players. Ghouls, just nice and fast, have dodge. It's all the little things that Chaos don't have. 2-0 is not as bad as it could have been. I hope they at least killed some zombies. As for the No Blitzing with Wolf coach, as Ambi-Tank, I think is a really, really good chance of going pretty far in this division. Necromantic, good team, good start, 100% what he needed. And he's a danger for the other teams. These other teams like Dark Elves that kind of get away with bashing because they're armor 8, or Undead which have big armor 9 mummies to stand in the middle. If the Wolves get scary and they start clawing and mighty blowing, it's going to be a nightmare. Next up, we had the Orkoff. Lorcos de la Cabeza versus the Gorkies. Gorkies winning it out 2-0. So that's Dartillery taking the win over RSV. I gotta say it's well done from Dartillery, because I found Orc v Orc early game is usually a boring affair that ends with a 1 each, or a 0-0, like a 1-0. A 2-0 to go 2 touchdowns clear is really good. Maybe some early Kaz or something could swing it that way. So that is, it's a strong result. I feel sorry for Lorcos de la Cabeza. Hopefully they just pick it up, get right back on it next week. And then the last one, the Byzantine Bashers, which is the other Chaos team, took on the Alpha Black Widows, which is the other Dark Elf team. And the Dark Elves 1-2-1 again. It's pretty much the same as the last one. Chaos, again, they're too slow, he won't have tackle, he won't even have as much block. The Strength 4 they will just run away from. Armor 8 is too hard to break without any claw or mighty blow. And Dark Elves will do elf things, and they'll pass, and they'll survive, and they'll score, and that's just how it will be for you. So, well done. I mean, they were not as souped up as the Sickless Sticks, but they also had some pretty nasty skills. So I'm not overly surprised that they would go on to take a 2-1. Well done by the Chaos to get one in, because it can be really hard without sure hands, without pass, without any Agi4, all those things. Just getting the ball in against most teams can be pretty difficult. Against Dark Elves, who are pretty much a defensive powerhouse, it's really impressive. And it's just some consolation SPP, because he's got to build the team, got to keep going. Every SPP you can get, got to stack it up, and the team just gets scarier and scarier. So, you know, it's not so bad. So, you know, I could look ahead at day 2, but most of the scores are already there. We've only got 2 games left to do. I'll wait till they're done and recap the whole week. And then hopefully I can do your week 3 preview in that same video when we haven't got all the results spoiled. So I'll try to do that week and that week in the same video. We'll ignore them for now. I'll have a quick run through the teams and see if anything interesting has happened since last week. So that is bad for anybody that plays against the Sir. It's 3 ghouls on Blodge. Only 1 left to go. I mean, instantly, that's what you're looking for on Undead. Ghouls that can't be knocked over, they're going to be a pain. 2 Mighty Blow coming in on top of the 2 natural Mighty Blow. He's on 4. He's got a tackle player, which he already had, actually. Which is probably a good part of how he got rid of those gutter runners with a block tackle player. Block Mummy as well, I believe he already had. So, scary players developing all round. Don't like the block zombie, covered that last week, would have liked dirty player. If anybody could kill any of these, that would be your goal for a season, I would say. You gotta get those off the pitch, and it's just getting harder and harder with block dodge. So good for the Sir. Let's look at the Norse. Well, that's pretty good. Pile on Berserker. You need that. Obviously combos really well with the jump up and the mighty blow. The only thing I'd say be careful of is obviously if you've got an armor 7 player who does a piling on, then that is begging for a dirty player to come on over and just take that one right off the field, just the return pick off. But you can do it. You can work your way around it. Yeah, he's got claw and mighty blow. So that's claw. It's got mighty blow now. Terrifying. Mighty blow here. So 3 mighty blow for the Norse. No block on either Ulf yet. You can see this one got MVP. This one got a Kaz. So he just needs a little bit more on each of them. They really need block to become reliable. Nothing for the runner. A tackle lineman, helpful, and a dirty player. It's good. Team's coming along. Not suffered any horrible injuries that I can see either. Oh, niggled lineman, but I mean, armor 7 lineman is going to happen. Abel or Pobel. So, instantly bad. What's happened to this poor man? He's missed next game. Okay, well that's about as good as it can be. Once you see a grade out, all you want is to miss next game. So he's going to be going his next game struggling. Down a blitzer. Does have a block dodge sure hands one though, so there's a good ball carrier right there. Got a runner on 8. Only God. Oh no! Twitch! He's got to go, my man. He's got to go. And then young Albert with a 12 SPP. I don't know what this man's been doing, but he deserves that dirty player. Absolutely. So yeah, this is fairly slow development, and that 2 of the blitzers haven't leveled at all yet. But this one's coming along great, and this one's got a good start with a plus movement. Gotta get something on someone else now, I feel, and quickly. I mean, I would say maybe even if you, next game, sacrifice winning if you see chances for SPP on people, or take risks to get SPP even if it might cost you the game. I think you gotta get a move on. So the Nurgle team, now they look in better place than last week in that the Warriors are all back. 2 of them will miss next game. But they're still in a bad place in terms of development. Strength 4 Pestigore is great because he blitzes at strength 5. So this is a pseudo big guy. You know, you could have 2 strength 5 hits in a turn reasonably. So that's a great development. Block on the other one. Nice, safe, stable choice. These need to pick up the pace now. It's hard. It's hard because in Agi 2 you can't feed them touchdowns, you can't feed them passes, they have to cause casualties. They don't have block or mighty blow, both of which make it easy to cause casualties, but you just have to keep trying, and he will get there. So for the other teams in this division, I think you want to get this team early. No offense, Sulfur. It's not you, it's Nurgle. You want to get this team early before Nurgle truly come alive. Because as the season goes on, you're looking like match 7, match 8. These will all have blocks, some will have mighty blow, he could have claws. It's gonna get pretty tough. But for now, I mean, hugs some givers. If this isn't moved for next week's recap to the right positions, I'm gonna start slating the team. Laguna Callahan's Nimrats. Now, yeah. So they've got a runner miss next game, they have to move. Oh, it could be worse than miss next game actually. No, they've got a runner on miss next game, and they have the movement 8 thrower on miss next game. So clearly you can see they did get brutalised in their 4-0 defeat. They got smacked around a bit. They got a movement 6 Storm Vermin, which is rough. I think I would fire that once I can afford a replacement before he soaks up SPP. Because the worst case scenario is he gets an MVP now and a Kaz, and then you get like, you know, a mighty blow or something on him, but he's still only movement 6. You want to ASAP get a fresh one in while he's still 0, and then have the fresh one, you know, end up with mighty blow and also movement 7. Block dodge gutter runner, the one being out is rough, but does have the strength 3 gutter runner and the blodge gutter runner, so these 2 will be his key. I don't know, I don't think he would have had this in the game he got beat, but it should help a lot going forward. We've got to get it wrestle, make a ball sacker, beautiful. Fairly standard Skaven. Oh, the Dark Elves. Now these ones, I said coming out of the gate they had everything already. Like, already set up for them. And still looks that way. Another double on this Blitzer. Piling on Dark Elf Blitzer. It's horrible. He's got access to jump up if he wants to go that way next. The only thing I'll say is he doesn't have dodge yet. So he is actually fairly easy to hit back. It's how hard he can hit you that's scary, but I don't think you can turn down this combo when the doubles came up. Dark Elves do great with a killer, and he's made a killer. Block, dodge, sidestep, witch. Perfect. This could be a problem. Wee Dram is niggling injured, but he's still armor 8 and block dodge, so it probably won't come into account most games. And then you've got the block dodge movement 8 Blitzer, who's terrifying. If he wants to level him up again, you can feed him touchdowns so easily. 2 wrestle linemen, which I like, you know, just remove the other team's mobility. And a dodge lineman. Give yourself more mobility. Perfect. I think you got to start fishing for a touchdown or 2 on this guy and get another blodger. And then once you've got all the positionals on blodge, it's going to be perfect for you. Chaos. And there's a team I don't really know much about. Only ever play against them. I know they're slow to come online. But that's good. Block warrior, block warrior. Not elected to go block on the third warrior, which I like. Because it's a little bit more risk than taking block, but it can be a much higher reward. You've already got the consistent ones here. Sometimes you want to go for an injury, you need a big removal. Really nice to have a Mighty Blow one. He can get blocked next, you know? He's got Mighty Blow, he'll cause cast sooner or later. Get him blocked then. This one, only one away. Risk a vanity pass at that point. He's actually free. Get it tossed over, get a level up, get another block or something. It's good. Agi 4, it's good. 2 block goats, it's fine. And a good team chaos because there's not like a position you don't want to level up. There's not like linemen who you don't want having the SPP. When goats level up, they're very versatile. You can get sure hands, extra arms, they've already got horns. It's good. There's a good spread of SPP. He's ready to tick over. If he gets Agi 4 sure hands, or Agi 4 dodge, if he can get doubles, that's a really good goat. Others got some. He's ready to tick over. He's actually almost ready for block Mighty Blow or whatever he decides to go as well. Maybe block tackle. So this is looking good. They're coming along a lot faster than really I think they should. So that is good SPP management there. Ah, the Gorkies. Oh, I missed next game Blitzer. But I want to look at the real Blitzer here. Strength 4, Agi 4, the Vampire Blitzer over here. This is a terror. I can actually kind of see how he would have beat the other Orc team now. That is a monster of a player. Armor 9, Strength 4, Agi 4, block. I don't really know. There's not a safe way to deal with that. That is a horrible, horrible player to see on the other side, and a beautiful, beautiful player to see from this side. I really like that. Guard and the Troll, nice and simple. 2 block Black Orcs already. Still 0 SPP on the other ones, but 2 is pretty good. 2 is pretty good for 2 games in. And then a piling on Mighty Blow Blitzer again. Exact same thing as I just said about it in the other teams. Beautiful. Get some kills, get some removals. Who needs dodge? Who needs other skills? You gotta get people off the pitch. That's how these bashy teams play. Or Dark Elves. Apparently. The Gorky's looking good. Honestly, Ricknast on his own looks like one of the best players in the whole division. Let's come to the other Dark Elves. So they also have a movement 8 Blitzer, but he doesn't have dodge at least. That's a fresh Witch Elf and only 20k, which leads me to believe that he may have had to buy a new one. I think there has been a Witch Elf death that I have missed. I could be completely wrong. Canis Lupus can correct me or anyone else's opponent, but that is what my eye would suggest, because 6 games in, I don't think he's rocking the 0 SPP Witch Elf. Blodge Blitzer, he's got Mighty Blow as well. Maybe in 1 SPP he can get piling on. Another Blodge Blitzer, Kick Lineman, which I love. Wrestle and movement 8. Now seeing it's 15, 15 and 12, if I was him in his next game, I'm going for him at the back to pass to him, who'll hold it for a turn to pass to him, who'll score a touchdown. And in doing that, then when it resets, get another pass on him. And if you did that and got all 3 of them in one game, for honestly it's not that hard either with the skills and the players they are, and ticked over all 3 blitzers into level 3, that would be devastating for the rest of the division. So if he does that, don't blame me, anyone. I'm sure he didn't need me to point it out to know. He's got them all to that SPP. But that is 100% what I'm aiming for. And then you got to go, you know, you got to try to get this guy dodge, if not another doubles. You got to try to get this guy maybe like something interesting like tackle. You also got to get some SPP here immediately as well, though. That's the issue. She needs 2 touchdowns, like ASAP. Until she has block, she's very likely to die again. And that is the one downfall of this team I can see, is this noob witch elf. The Byzantine Bashers, the other Chaos team. So Toaster Bait's team, also 2 block warriors and a warrior about to tick over. And I'll say the same advice I said about the other 5 SPP warrior. Just give it a pass. It's a free up, just take it. It's worth its weight in gold when you get that mana skill. You have to do it. I think in the Rebbl with the League's Eternal, it's really important that you do focus on the long-term development of the team, as opposed to grinding out every game a 1-0 win that might not get you any more than 8 SPP. Although, going by the scores that we saw from last week, no one in this division is doing that. I saw a 4-0, saw a 3-0, 2-0 by Orcs. I think I'm preaching to the choir here. Wrestle Beastman's good. We saw the other Chaos team went for all block. I like the idea of a Wrestle one. And they also have a Strength 4 Beastman. Look at that. Another... Oh, it's a Pestigore from the Nurgle team has it as well. But yeah, Blitz is on Strength 5. Can just smash big guys for him. Really, really good. I mean, if he can get the Minotaur, I don't know if he's saving for it. He's bought a 12 player that isn't the Minotaur, so it's probably not on his priorities. But if he could get that, then again, that's like having 2 Strength 5 on offense. It's great. And I don't know how I feel about the Movement 5 Beastman. Although I guess he's a danger sub because he is on 12 people. So when he loses a goat, he can sub in the weaker goat. Or maybe he stands on a line of scrimmage and just gets hit and that's his job. It's fair enough. I don't think he'll eat too much SPP. He's not like a blitzer or anything, so... yeah, that's a fair enough keep. Now, Lorcos de la Cabeza. This was the losing Orc team. But they seem in good shape. They've got no injuries. No leveled Black Orcs, which I think might be the telling difference from the other Orc team. 5 and 5 SPP, not as easy as Chaos Warriors because they're Agi 2. You can't just feed them a pass. He just needs to pray. Get them on the line of scrimmage, take offense if you get the coin toss, and hit everything. Just keep hitting. You got to hit and hit and hit until they get 1 Kaz. Ideally, you know, come up against Skaven, hit their lineman, something like that. And you got to get block. Until these guys get blocked, they're just too inconsistent for their strength 4 to really matter. Luckily, in the blitzing department, he's got high consistency. Not quite strength 4 agi 4, but block, dodge, tackle. That is a player that comes and stand beside your witch elf and forces you to either hit him or just cry. The tackle is brutal, and combined with block and dodge for his own defense, great player. Guard, nice and standard, will help the team a lot. These two need something. These are agi free, but neither of them are on 5, but I think you're going to try to get a touchdown to him at least next game. If he gets a lucky Kaz, then go for the pass immediately and get the touchdown on this one instead. Thrower has block, almost leveled up, so yeah, definitely a pass from him. Get that 2nd level, maybe look into leader or I don't know, whatever you want, accurate. It's up to you at that point. I don't really use the orc thrower, but you know, RSV, you have. The world is your oyster. No blitzing with Wolf. Ambi-Tank's team, pretty in pink. Have already picked up 1 Mighty Blow Werewolf. I was talking about that earlier. That's what they'd need to really push for a high position in this division, as a way to scare the higher armor teams, and that's it right there on Doggy the Plague Master. I mean, that's treating essentially everyone he hits as AV6. It's too much, and he's going to start racking up Kaz, he's going to start racking up SPP, he's going to get dodge, he's going to get block, he's going to just ruin your whole life. Obviously Timmy, not as good, only block, but could roll soon, try get Mighty Blow. I mean, he still has claws, which can be good enough. Agi 1 Flesh Golem, completely irrelevant, it will never dodge or catch the ball or anything like that. Absolutely fine to keep that. Also nearly leveled this one. Flesh Golems are really hard to level. they can only hope for random Kaz. There's no other way to do it with them. So the fact he has 2 already, if he can get another one, get block, he becomes so much more of a pillar for the team. So that's a really good, you know, start so far. Guard tackle white and guard white, both beautiful. Better tackle. This is a dodge heavy division, so I am happy with all the tackle I'm seeing the Bashi teams pick up. They can't leave it too long. You need at least one key tackle piece to deal with the Skaven and the elves. So it's good to see it. Wrestle Ghoul, bold, and I like it. Makes him pretty weak as a ball carrier, but that's okay on Necro because unlike Undead, you're just as able to do it with werewolves. And whites are always an option as well. You've only got 2 ghouls, you can't put too much stock in them. So instead using this one to sack the ball, I really like. And then Dirty Player, which I love. Go Hummersep. I hope he fills his way to oblivion. He's also got 12 SPP. There are some really stacked Dirty Players out there. Will we see a Dirty Player sneaky get combo? I kind of hope not because it sucks, but I kind of hope so because it's just great. The Barbecue Brawlers. Now, Banthok told me that he's having a horrible time and Rebbl is ruining his soul and he's just getting beat over and over again. And I think he should man up because this doesn't look so bad. So, 2 blitzers that need a level is not great, but as I said, feed him a touchdown. That's what they're for. They're your star players. Get a touchdown on this man, and then it's only a pass. Get a Kaz on this one. That's you. 2 Blodge blitzers, really consistent, really good, and Nerves of Steel, which is an interesting one. I'd have to ask for his input as to why. I don't think I would take that skill. I suppose because he has dodge, it means that he's free to catch and tackle zones and dodge out. That's kind of a technique that you should just never be playing towards. So I'm actually quite critical of the pickup, especially because Nerves of Steel doesn't affect pickups, which is about the one situation I could see him using it in. I don't think this is that great, and it's kind of a waste of his best blitzer. And I'm not just winding Banthok up, which I do a lot. I really am. I don't think I would ever do that. But I'm not the best player in the world, and I'm definitely not the best Brett player in the world, so if you give me a bit of reasoning, or at least let me see the method and the madness, I'd like to know. 2 guard blockers, very standard, I love it. Agi 4 blocker, you can't turn down the plus Agi, I feel. Especially if he can get guard next, he's a really mobile guard piece, hyper useful. I like that. Kick, great skill, and strength 2 lineman, has to go. Now he's short on cash, which is probably why he's not in a rush to get rid of him and buy another one. But at the same time, man, what use is that? That'll get 3 diced so quickly on the line of scrimmage. He'll probably go off turn 1 every game. But it's a rough situation to be in. And the last team, the High Elves, who had a good start to the season, like I was saying, as High Elves always seem to do. A lot of money in the bank, which is good because they have expensive, hard to replace positionals. If he loses a positional, immediately he can get it replaced. It's a really comfortable position for him to be in. I think he'll be happy with that. Accurate on a thrower, that's good. If the thrower can get 3 more passes, level up, and get strong arm on doubles, he begins long bombing on 4-ups, which is honestly ridiculous, like rerollable 4-ups because of pass. Already he's 2-ups now for his short passes. So this is, I mean, this is what High Elves do. He's just picking up more and more ways to move the ball down the field at a really high pace. And then you got 2 blitzers, block dodge, really standard. I've always found it quite hard to level High Elf blitzers because unlike Dark Elf ones, they don't score. The catchers do that. So it does kind of all come from Kaz, or the occasional like, oh I have to score with this guy. But he's got them both to blodge. It's kind of where they need to be. Get a few more Kaz, maybe throw them a touchdown or 2. And then you've got sidestep on normals or mighty blow on doubles. They have a role in the High Elf team that doesn't require a ton of skills. So that's quite a good position to be in. Mighty blow catcher. Pseudo blitzer I suppose. Maybe swap these 2 around. I mean it'll be a hyper mobile blitzer if he can get it block. The other one give him block. I feel like I should have given it dodge. Because they run away more than hit things. they're armor 7, they're your only armor 7 piece on the team, and also in my opinion he doesn't have enough of them. I think he should buy the third one with his extra money, because catchers are the best player on the high elf team, I feel. And to only have 2 and to have given them both attacking skills as opposed to like touchdown related skills seems a little strange. I think you really need to get this one dodge immediately and this one block immediately, but then that's hard because they both need a lot of SPP. But he's winning games, so what do I know? Guard lineman's good. You don't get much access to guards, you got to take it where you can get it. And wrestle lineman, also good. Put people on the floor and then use your movement to run away. So, happy enough. I would definitely have a look into the catches and how you're going to sort that out for the rest of the season, Burner. But you can let me know if you don't agree. So that's it. So, like I said, I'll look at week 2 shortly. As you can see some of the scores here. I'll go into more detail. I'll try to catch these 2 matches if they're streamed. I'm not as busy this week. And other than that, hope you enjoyed. Just let me know if you think anything I said is horribly wrong.